Hi guys, happy Friday. We made it another week, yay. And today is my favorite one, water habitats, okay? And my favorite water habitat is the one that we see on the cover. And what is it? It's the ocean, right? All right, so let's listen and learn about not just ocean habitats, but lakes and streams and rivers as well. A habitat is a place in nature. Plants live in habitats. Animals live in habitats too. There are many kinds of water habitats. Different plants and animals live in the different water habitats. Salt water and fresh water. The water in some water habitats is salt water. Salt water has a lot of salt in it. The water in other water habitats is fresh water. Fresh water has only a little salt in it. This sea slug lives in salt water. So you would see him maybe in the ocean. Not sure how far down you would have to go to see him though. 5 oceans. Oceans are huge water habitats. They are made up of salt. There are 5 oceans. The 5 oceans are the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, and the Southern Ocean. And we are used to swimming in the Atlantic Ocean. Some oceans in parts of the world that have some oceans are in parts of the world that have hot weather. These oceans have warm water. Other oceans are in parts of the world that have cold weather. The water in these oceans is cold. This polar bear swims in the cold Arctic Ocean. And what do you think the polar bear has that keeps him warm while he's swimming in this freezing water? He has lots of thick fur, doesn't he? Warm oceans have coral reefs. Coral reefs are very colorful. Coral reefs look like huge groups of colorful plants. Coral reefs are not made up of plants. However, coral reefs are made up of corals. Corals are groups of tiny animals called coral polyps. So, it's not like a plant, even though it kind of looks like it. They're tiny little animals. Miss Molly just learned something new. Many ocean animals live in coral reefs. Some of the animals have colorful bodies. These bodies are the same colors as the corals. Ooh, so they blend in. This stonefish's colorful body looks just like the corals around it. The stonefish blends in with the corals. It may not be seen by animals that want to eat it. So he's camouflaging. See, there he is, the stone crab. And behind him, as you can see, is the coral. And he matches the coral. So he probably stays pretty safe. At the shore. Shores are water habitats. Shores are places where ocean water washes onto land. Shores are underwater for part of each day. Many shores are sandy, rocky, and muddy. There are rocks and sand on this shore. There is mud too. It's not, I don't know if I would want to go swimming there with all those rocks. Tide pools. Many shores have small pools of shallow water. These small pools are called tide pools. Tide pools never become dry. Plants and animals live in tide pools. This boy has found an insect in the tide pool. Sea stars and sea snails also live in tide pools. So he found a sea star and a sea snail. Many animals live at shores. Birds, clams, crabs, shrimps, and mussels are animals that live at shores. These animals find plenty of food to eat in this habitat. Many water birds have long legs. When the birds stand in the water looking for food, their bodies do not get wet. So I see a crab, a mussel, and then the birds. This egret is catching a shrimp to eat at a shore. It catches shrimp with its long beak. Its long beak is perfect for reaching shrimps in the water. So look, keep going. There are thousands of lakes on Earth. Lakes are large bodies of water. There is land all around lakes. The water in most lakes is deep, but some lakes have shallow water. This moose is standing in a shallow lake. So a lake is different because even though it's water, there's land all around it. And at the shore, or the beach is what we call it, there's the ocean, right? And then there's only one side where the land is, where we are, right? So a lake is surrounded by land, whereas a beach is not, or the ocean, I should say. Lakes are freshwater habitats. Animals that need fresh water to stay alive spend time in or near lakes. Fish, birds, and other animals need fresh water to stay alive. This eagle is trying to catch a fish in a lake. So remember, lakes are freshwater because there's only a little bit of salt in them. Many animals live in lakes. Trout and bass are two kinds of fish that live in lakes. Crayfish live on the bottoms of lakes. They search for food to eat in the mud. Many birds live in habitats with cold winter weather. The birds cannot stay alive in the cold. When the weather gets cold, the birds leave their habitats. They fly to warmer habitats. Remember migration? During their long journeys, the birds stop at lakes to rest and to find food. We have lots of ponds here in Florida too. Ponds are water habitats that are smaller than lakes. Like lakes, ponds also have land around them. The water in many ponds is shallow. It is also still. Still water moves very little. These geese are standing in a still pond. Plants grow in ponds. Plants grow in ponds and near the edges of ponds. Animals eat parts of the plants. Moths drink nectar from the pond. Drink nectar from the pond flowers. Nectar is a sweet liquid found in leaves, or flowers, sorry. So remember, a pond is smaller than a lake, but it's still surrounded by land, right? And the water is still. It moves very slowly. Swimming in ponds. Many kinds of animals live in pond habitats. Some animals live in the water. Fish and tadpoles live in the water. Tadpoles are baby frogs. This tadpole is a great swimmer. Many kinds of birds spend time in ponds. This bird made a home near the edge of a pond. Its home is called a nest. It will lay eggs inside the nest. Baby birds will hatch from the eggs. Some more. Ooh, and then a river. Rivers have fresh water. The water in rivers is not still, as the water in ponds is. The water in rivers flow. Some rivers have waterfalls. A waterfall is a stream of water that falls from a high place. Salmon are fish that swim in rivers. They are strong swimmers. Salmon can swim against the flow of the water in rivers. Salmon can even swim up waterfalls. I'd like to see that. This bear is catching a salmon as it swims up a waterfall. Learned something, I learned something else. These hippopotamus are river animals. They live and find food in their river habitat. They are swimming in a group. The group of hippos is called a herd. Many animals live in rivers. River otters and crocodiles live in rivers. They swim from place to place searching for food to eat. Look at that crocodile. And if you've ever been out on the St. Johns River or even driven past the river, even though they're not crocodiles, we do see lots of alligators. A crocodile has sharp teeth for biting into fish, birds, and turtles. A river otter's fur is waterproof. Waterproof fur stays dry in water. Swamps. Swamps are water habitats that have trees growing in them. Some parts of swamps are shallow. Other parts are deep. The shallowest parts of swamps may become dry in warm weather. Oak, maple, elm, and cypress trees grow in swamps. Many birds make nests in the tree branches. The birds find food and water in the swamp below the trees. These great egrets have made a nest in a swamp tree. So in a swamp, there's lots of different trees that are close together. Living in a swamp. Many swamp animals live in water. Others live on the wetland around swamps. Some animals live both in water and on land. This snapping turtle spends some time in water and some time on land. Alligators are large swamp animals. They swim in swamps looking for fish, turtles, and snakes to eat. If a swamp becomes dry, the alligators move to other water habitats. And that is it for water habitats. There was lots of water habitats. We had the ocean, we had lakes, rivers, ponds, swamp, and I feel like I'm forgetting one. I know I am. Ponds, rivers, lakes, ocean. Oh, the shore. That's the one I was missing. Or like the beach is what we call it. All right. So if you had to choose one of the water habitats to live in, which one would you choose and why? All right, guys. I'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. And next week, we're going to talk all about one of the water habitats. All right. Bye, guys.